Don't die.
All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We got our rents.
We got our wrenches.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode. This is a segment where we ask the questions and we rant about them. So today, we have a good question for y'all, or for us. What car would you build in the early 2000s?
So many choices. In the early 2000s, there were a lot of cars that you could pick. You had front-wheel drive, you had all-wheel drive, you had rear-wheel drive. You had naturally aspirated, turbo, supercharged. Inline 6, W6, no, not W6, VR6, W8s. But I think the way I would go would be
Volkswagen?
Mazda. The Mazda RX-7.
Bruh.
Okay. The was it 05? No, 95. Actually, you know what? I already messed up because that's not from the 2000s. Damn it. All right, you know what? I'm gonna stay with it. The RX-8, the Mazda RX-8.
Okay. Why?
So the reason why I would go with the Mazda RX-8 is because the chassis itself is very well balanced, following its earlier sister cousin, whatever you want to call it, the RX-7. And those cars take very well to bigger motors, V6s, V8s. The V8s especially, they love taking those things in. A couple of plate modifications. With the mounting points, you drop in the LS1 motor in there, turbocharge that son of a bitch. You got power for days. I'm talking about like endless amounts of power, unnecessarily large amounts of power that you can put down in those things. Like, I know a lot of people hated the RX-8 because of like the rotary engine. It was pretty trash, and the I don't recall, but I believe the transmission could have used some upgrading. But I think the seals, was it the seals in the synchronizers, or maybe it was in the rotary. Kept going.
Let's say how much horsepower does that come stock?
I think like 175 or something like that.
How much torque?
185. Oh, it was torque. I think it was like balance. I think it was like 210, 220 torque.
That's not bad.
No, like those motors tend to put out a good amount of torque. Yeah. Which is why Mazda made them so well balanced, so you don't get that kick out. It literally is torque, spin, go. You know what I mean? Freaking. But the bad thing was just that nobody really works like they are. There's a gray area where the rotaries where you got to live, that you can get reliable, consistent power. If you start trying to push beyond that, now you start talking about like cryo treating bearings and seals and whatnot like that. It's a whole mess. So the easiest thing to do is just find a motor that you like, swap it. You know what I mean? So like, I personally liked the look of the RX-8. I don't care what no one else says. I like the look of the RX-8. I really wanted one. I could have dealt without that like third kind of hidden door, you know. I think so. So you can get your kids in there, because I don't want my kids in there. Just stay your ass at home. But yeah, that's my pick.
Like the Veloster.
Yeah, but the Veloster didn't. That shit like tiny. That shit like Matchbox car tiny. You know what I mean? The the RX-8, when they added that door, it's kind of like there's a sports car they were trying to make also appealing to, you know, your 56-year-old grandmother. You know what I mean? Who still likes to drive herself around, but doesn't want to quite give up on the fact that she doesn't want to submit to the fact she's getting old as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's my build. That's what I would want to build up. Because even now, when I see them on the road, I'm like, yeah, you got potential.
Could have been.
How about you? What direction are you? And please don't say Subaru. Like, don't say Subaru. Like, have some imagination. Pick something else.
I already knew you were gonna say that.
You didn't know shit.
So, the car I would choose is a 2005 Nissan Sentra SER Spec V.
Okay.
Backstory on that.
That's the long body, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother had one back in, let's say, 2012 or whatever, 11 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And those are nice. Like, it's one of those cars where when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is he driving?
It's disgusting when you first look at it.
And then when he took me for a ride in it, it reminded me kind of like the Honda, you know what I mean?
Super light.
Because he was
just going.
He did it from a dig. He was just doing digs all day, and that thing drove perfect.
I don't know why or how, but that thing was like torquey at the low end, but it loved the high RPMs.
Yes.
It did very well in the high RPMs. Mm-hmm. My father had an SER version, just short of the Spec V.
Okay.
And he got it from I can't even remember where he got it. I think he wound up buying it from like a friend who was getting rid of a car because he got into a car accident. And he's like, oh, I just need something cheap to get around. And he had that thing. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, is this Nissan Sentra? I'm like, that thing is tiny. Like, it was tight. Like, super tight. Like, super tight. But that thing, the scariest thing about that car was like, once you hit like 90, like the nose would come up and you would start getting this. So, like, I was like, Dad, I got a solve for your floating nose problem. He's like, what do you want to do?
Get rid of it.
No. I was able to buy a splitter, a front air dam, like the ones with the struts that you drill into the impact bar, and then you drill that underneath. That was the most painy ass install ever, cause like you gotta check, double check, check, double check, check, double check, check, double check. You know, you gotta set the struts into the impact bar and have it come down at the right angle. If it's too short, then your thing comes down and falls off. If you have it too far, then it pulls it off. So you gotta have it set like just right.
That's crazy.
Well, but so other than your brother,
but ever since that, I always wanted one to like build up because it had a lot of potential. You know what I mean? And like when we had it, and I was looking online, and I'm looking for performance parts. It wasn't like
Fast and the Furious research. Fucking Vinny.
It wasn't like a crazy aftermarket availability for the car, but there was still stuff you could do. Like there's one thing I saw is called PCR Performance, which is chip revamp. So you just buy it, you put it onto the ECU. It doesn't rewrite the whole system. It just adds whatever it needs to it. And it reads off.
I know what you're talking about. There's this company called STP. They did the same thing with the focuses. Yeah. You just plug it in, and it doesn't remap or overwrite the existing stuff to like throw any codes or anything like that. It just kind of adds in some things that the computer can take advantage of.
All motor, that chip can add up to like 60 horsepower.
That's not bad because it wasn't.
The stock,
I think that was like 175 stock. for the SERs.
Yeah. So 60, what you looking at? What 240,
175, like 230,
230.
Yeah,
which isn't bad. You add an intake.
Honestly, son, that would be scary as shit in that car, because like I said, you hit 90 and the nose starts rising, like because of the way it was shaped, such a smooth shape.
Yeah.
That once you hit about 90 miles an hour on the highway, the nose would come up. Like you literally, like my dad literally, he bought the steel wheels to give it some weight because it constantly, those wheels are super light. Everything about that car was super light. That was probably honestly the last good Sentra that Nissan made.
Yeah,
and it had their 2.0 4-cylinder. You know, that motor is, I would consider it bulletproof, because any problems you've had with Nissan Sentras, I think going back to before they changed the body style, I think it ran from 92 to 99. And yeah, those motors were never an issue in those things. It was just always everything else.
Yeah, I don't like their new whatever spec V's they made from, I think it's like 07 or 09 further up.
They're not the real spec V's.
They're trash.
Yeah, they're not the real spec V's anymore. The only car from Nissan you can get with any kind of decent performance is the Z car.
I like the Maxima.
I mean, the Maxima is nice, but let's be honest. That's, you know, that's old pimp's car. That's old pimp's car. You know what I mean? As old pimp go pick up a lady. You know, just drive around. Maybe go to Wawa. Look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a nice car, son, but like they need a better trans. They need a better trans. You need to get rid of that CVT, that trash ass CVT. Get rid of it and get an actual, like, even if they went with like a twin clutch kind of deal, or like something that,
like,
you know,
an option.
Yeah, like option out like something like with a twin clutch, because I think they have a trim mode that adds paddle shifters on there. When you need paddle shifters on the CVT for, it's not gonna respond the way you want.
Cause one guy at Walmart had it like a year ago, and it sounded amazing. It was like one of the best sounding cars. Yeah,
it sounds good, but like people are like they're pumping in sound nowadays. But and then in freaking, was it my Nissan Rogue, my wife's Rogue has a sports mode, and all that literally is adjusting the throttle plate. So Nissan Sentra, Spec V, Mazda RX-8. No all-wheel drives. No turbos.
Nope. All motor.
All motor. So what motor would you drop into it, or would you just work up what you got?
I'll just work up what I got until it blows.
It's actually a pretty good motor. I believe it's steel block, aluminum head, and I think the transmission was
6-speed.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, my brother, he digging it.
Beat on that shit.
Boom, boom, revving it. Didn't die. Not once. No problems.
So what happened to it?
Traded it.
Oh, you traded it?
Yeah, get my nerve with that nonsense. Always trading something.
Let's call him Trader Joe's.
But yeah.
Well, I mean,
if I get my hand on one,
I think that would be a good project car.
2 hours later.
All right, guys. So that's it for this one. Stick with us for the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe, share, ring the bell.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. What else? We got a Tumblr, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, we got a Tumblr. That's kind of just for, you know, the Instagram, or not the Instagram.
Feed the web.
Yeah, that's just to feed the web, just to feed the little web gnomes, you know. All right, so
as usual,
Wrench Daily.